All right, guys, this is Ray Dunn with First Down Sports, and I'm here at Rocky Stone Field again. We haven't been here since the end of the MFL season, but I am standing here tonight with the president of Greater Moncton Football Association, Joel Irvin. How's it going, Joel?
Doing great, Ray. Thanks for being here.
Now, we have a big event going on here tonight, put on by Greater Moncton Football. What's going on here tonight at the hut, or the lounge, whatever you call it?
Absolutely. Tonight is basically a celebration of the accomplishments of 4 guys from Moncton who played in our high school system and also minor football in the Greater Moncton area. And they were just in Mexico City, and they were part of Team Canada that won the U19 World Championship.
World Championship.
That's correct.
And how has Canada fared at the World Championship in years past prior to them winning this year?
Well, my understanding, this is a back-to-back win. But there were no guys from New Brunswick on the team the previous year. So Canada has been doing good in the last few years, but prior to that, of course, there's been dominance by the U.S. But the Canadian program is developing and growing at a rapid pace. And tonight's a testament to that, as 4 guys from New Brunswick have accomplished something that no one from New Brunswick has ever done before.
Now, if I understand correctly, you've opened this event up so younger players can come up, possibly players from the Greater Moncton Football Association. What kind of message do these kids give to these younger kids, to inspire them to get to that next level?
Absolutely. Well, some of the values of Greater Moncton Football Association, of course, are sportsmanship, leadership, teamwork. I think these 4 guys tonight have proven and can show a path through football that can lead to great success. A lot of times in Canada, hockey's the focal point. But less than 1% of hockey players make it to the pros. Football is a great avenue. It's the greatest team sport ever. It teaches you so many things and how to work with a multitude of people from different backgrounds, socioeconomic statuses, everything. And these guys are a living testament that success can happen. And they're all going to have major impacts on collegiate programs over the next couple of years. There's no doubt about it.
Well, that's great. We are going to be interviewing these 4 guys, and we're going to bring them out individually, and we might have a couple other special guests that's in the room as well. Joel, I really appreciate the invite by Greater Moncton Football to attend, and hopefully you enjoy the work we put together for you.
Absolutely, Ray. Thank you very much for First Down Sports to be here as well. It's a great night.
Awesome. We'll be back soon, guys. All right, guys, this is Ray with First Down Sports again. I am sitting here with head coach from Harrison Tremble, Mark Teed. Mark, Greater Moncton Football is holding a great event in here tonight. 4 players from Team Canada at the U19. Talk to me about the players that you've been involved with in the room.
Well, obviously, we've coached against 2 of them and coached 2, Dylan Tabone and Glodin Mulali. We've had them at Harrison Trimble for 3 years and 4 years. And we coached against the other 2. They were always someone you had to play, or account for on the field at all times. But it's really it says a lot about the minor football system and the high school football systems here to have 4 guys play at that level from Moncton, New Brunswick, and surrounding area. I think it's a testament to the coaches and the programs from the minor leagues all the way through. So it's nice to see.
You as a coach, I know, are very connected with your players. I see it on the field as an official. Not only that, but I've seen the pictures of you putting players when they get signed by the next level going to university, and I've also ran into you on the road heading to these university games. Talk to me about that connection you have with your players and watching their careers after high school.
Yeah, obviously the connection, it's all about relationships. I mean, getting to know these guys they come into the high school scene at, 13, 14 years old in grade 9, and you watch them grow from 13 to 18 and to move on to university and potentially play football or just, go to get their degree academically at the next level. It's very rewarding to see and kind of sharing their success. And when you have a connection with these players and they humbly ask you to be a part of these special things in their life, it's very humbling. It's nice to know that they enjoy the time that they spend within our football program and they want to share those things with us. So we're very delighted to be a part of that.
My first international competition involved with Canada, seeing other teams from across Canada, was the 2013 Canada Cup here. At that time, New Brunswick was a smaller team. It was a smaller province team, and they didn't fare well against the bigger provinces. Now, not only at the U19, but U18, U16, we're seeing a lot of success from New Brunswick. What's going on with New Brunswick football? What are you guys doing differently now than you were doing, say, 10 years ago? That's where we're seeing the success in New Brunswick football.
Well, I mean, football is growing. There's more and more teams coming in the league, whether it be in the 10-man division or 12-man division. There's been growth every year for the last number of years, so that's always a positive. When the talent pool grows, then success hopefully comes along with that. But guys like Chris Hopkins, who put a ton of time in the New Brunswick elite programs, Josh Harris looking after the day-to-day organization. Those guys really breathe New Brunswick football, like 506 football, 24 hours a day, so to speak, and pretty much 12 months of the year. If they're not actually physically coaching the kids in their programs, they're out there watching them in their high school teams and things like that. So I think it's just an emphasis, a positive belief that these, we can compete at that level, and you're starting to reap the rewards with having these kids believe in themselves and training and working and progressing through the system. So it's good to see for New Brunswick.
So these 4 kids that are in here, they're U19, so they're heading in off to Canadian universities. Will any of these kids get looked at the NCAA level? Like, will any of them look at playing ball in the U.S.?
Well, I can only speak to the guys that I know. I mean, I know that Tabone's at prep school right now, and he's obviously received some offers and communication, some workouts with the NCAA. I believe Tyler Burns also has been in prep school for the last couple of years, and he himself has been working with some U.S. camps and whatnot. Glodin done exceptionally well last year. His first year was at Acadia University as a first year player, was a key component of their offense, and the same with Charlie at Mount Allison. I mean, he was a starter, I believe, since day one, if I'm correct, and a key part. So, will they get some looks in the U.S.? Some of them are, but I think some of them are also happy to get their education here locally in Canada and play the sport that they enjoy here too.
One other question I have for you is, we hear a lot on our podcast about third down ball versus 4-down ball. We hear about all the time the Canadian game versus the U.S. game. When they go to these international competitions, they're playing 4-down ball. How does that? I mean, does that hurt Canada heading into these international competitions, or is the third down ball here to stay still? Like, is it still what makes our game our game?
Personally, I've never coached the 4-down. I've played some senior ball here locally. That's been the extent, obviously at a much lower level. To me, I think the change would be for the coaching staff, because your game plan, your philosophy, your playing calling, you've got that extra down. You may not potentially have to take a shot as soon as you may do with the 2-down sort of thing. But for the players, I think a lot of it, it would be the same. It's you go out, you execute the play. It's more the play calling and when you call certain things. Special teams are obviously a big deal, flipping the field, but you gotta prepare for it. So. All
right. Well, there you go, guys. That's head coach Mark Teed. We're going to be back on the field within a month, and we're going to have this great relationship on the field that we're having right here, right, Coach?
Absolutely. We're looking forward to it. We're going to have First Down Sports out there and see what we can do for the high school scene. Looking forward to it.
Awesome. There you go. That's Mark Teed, everybody. Okay, guys, Ray with First Down Sports again. I am standing here with John Diodati from Odyssey High School, former head coach, now coordinator with the team?
Yeah, offensive coordinator, co-coordinator with Serge Bourque, and receiver coach. This is what I have to do, so I'm back to that. I took a year off now.
Okay, so this is a pretty big event here tonight that the Greater Moncton Football Association is putting on. Talk to me about the players you're involved in and the type of work you did with these kids.
Well, I had actually Charles. I taught him in 6, 7, and 8, and then he was the mastodon he is now. He was a big boy, and I said football, and he was coming from up north, and he had never played football. And I said it would be a good idea if you showed up and start hitting some people, and he loved it. Hit his brother too, actually. And so for 7 years, I was next to him and see what he did, and just saw him grow up, and it was awesome to see. I had the chance, being a receiver coach, to coach Tabone and Glodin at Team and B, and actually there was an after camp that was being done for a few years here by Nick Murray, and I had a chance to coach Glodin Mulali there too, and just see the athlete he became. And for Taylor, I had a chance to see him at Team and B the first year that we ever had a win, actually, which was 2 years ago in Winnipeg.
Now, I understand Canada's won this event back-to-back years at the international competition, and if this is the first time that a New Brunswick player has played on the team, not just one, but there was 4 of them on this team, correct?
4 of them, yeah. 2 of them scored touchdowns, and 2 of them were starting, which is, well, 3 of them were starting. It's amazing. I myself, I've watched mostly U18 before because the kids I knew were U18, but now it was awesome to see that the 4 of them was for knowing the best 40 kids in the nation. It was awesome. It was really awesome, and a great way to put New Brunswick kids on display.
I worked my first international competition as an official back in 2013 for the Canada Cup right here. And I remember how strong the other provinces were versus New Brunswick. What's going on in New Brunswick that we're seeing all this success out of the New Brunswick football program?
I don't want to put them on the spot, but Chris Hopkins. Hoppy has been doing some stuff. I mean, I coached under him. I would love to coach again with him, and he's getting a big chance to coach at Carleton. I'm so happy for him. But, I mean, there's been some guys before that laid the land work, but he's been doing some amazing stuff, and the kids are just buying into it, and we're seeing the level. To me, it used to be like top 2 or 3 teams, and then middle 4, and then New Brunswick. Right. But to me, this tournament proved that we should have beat BC at the U18 Canada Cup. BC basically would have killed, or did beat, Manitoba. So basically, we are top, in the bottom 5 teams. We're right there. I'm sure we could have played Ontario. The Ontario was not so good this year, or not as good as usual. I mean, Quebec and Saskatchewan are up there, but it was amazing to see that we've caught up to the competition. We have caught up.
And that's pretty amazing when you look at the population of New Brunswick versus these other provinces, right? New Brunswick in the past has been known as a hockey province. What are making kids make that jump from hockey to football?
I don't know. I think they're doing both. I mean, I've been involved in high school football for 13 years now, and I have more and more players doing both. I think we have 15 double athletes that play both sports. So I don't know. It's interesting. There's more people in the stands. I mean, the kids love that, and I don't know. It's a really interesting sport and challenges them. And no, I don't know. It's really fun, and there's so much untapped power in this province that we haven't got to get. Like Charles coming from up north, the day we're going to start having teams from up north, like buckle up, we're in for a rough ride. Yeah. So well,
and that's it. Miramichi has 2 teams in the 10-man team now, which
École Saint-Anne from Fredericton, the French school, is coming in this year, so we have a 22nd team now, and they're talking about Dalhousie soon. So I mean, there's teams coming. It's interesting and it's awesome.
Well, that's great for football in New Brunswick. Yeah. Guys, that's John Diodati from Odyssey High School. Thanks for stopping by First Down Sports.
My pleasure. It was fun.
Thank you. All right, guys, right back here. I'm with Dylan Tabone from the U19 Canadian gold medal winners. How good does that sound?
Sounds pretty great. Yeah, it's nice. It's awesome.
Now, you got your start with Harrison Trumbull High School, right?
Yeah.
We were just talking to Mark Teed. Talk to me about what it was like playing for Mark Teed back in the day.
Oh God, geez, that's where it all began. I mean, Teed saw me throwing in practice once, and I was like a backup DB, and then he said, "Hey, do you want to play quarterback?" And I couldn't say no to that, so he got me all started, and I mean, I've come pretty far since then. So respect to that guy. He's a great coach. All my time with Coach Teed, it was a great time. Really, he's a great coach.
Awesome. Now, talk to me real quick about what I'm really impressed about this year. We have 4 New Brunswickers that played for this Team Canada. That's a big step for the province of New Brunswick. Tell me the sense of pride you have come from New Brunswick, and what's going on in New Brunswick that's pushing you guys to this next level.
The main thing I'll say is never forget where you come from. There's a lot of good coaches here, a lot of good talent, a lot of good athletes, and the thing is, people just need to make sure they work hard and never let anyone tell you can't do anything, because that's one of the biggest things that I see around here. The biggest thing is, you always have to work hard, and you always have to, stay humble and do everything you can to get better. And I think there's a lot of people in New Brunswick that can do that. So I think that New Brunswick football is on the uprise, and from there it's going to keep getting better and better. So
that's great. There's a bunch of little kids running around this building here tonight, in here to see you guys. What do you say to those young kids that are looking to get to the level that you are at?
For every one of them, I just say work really hard. Never give up, because never giving up is probably, one of the hardest decisions anyone can ever make, is to keep going or to stop. So one of the things for me is I had a lot of people tell me I can't play quarterback at the next level, and look where I am now. I have a lot of schools wanting me to play quarterback, and it's because I just told myself, that's what I want to do. And I say the same thing to anyone else who's looking to fulfill their dream is you really need to make sure you just, don't listen to anyone, do your thing, work hard, practice. Practice is the biggest thing, and then you'll reach it. So that's what I got to say to them. Yeah.
All right, guys, that's Dylan Tabone. Good luck to your upcoming season. You guys will be on the field anytime soon, and First Down Sports will be watching along the way. All right, here we go. Ray with First Down Sports here with Glodin Mulali from Acadia University, formerly with Harrison Trumbull High School. Before we talk about why you're here tonight, let's talk about Harrison Trumbull real quick. I had the pleasure of reffing you all through high school. Talk to me about what got you into playing football and what it was like playing for Coach Teed.
Actually, the person that got me playing football was my best friend, Dylan Tabone. He actually introduced me to the sport after I told him I play soccer, and that's what I was going to try out for, and he told me to come and play football. So I was like, yeah, football, that's soccer. So I went to the tryouts, and I was like, hold on, this is not football, which is usually in Europe, football is soccer. Yeah. And then I was like, I'll just try it anyway, and I tried it, and I was like, I don't know, it's not that bad, so I just didn't want to quit, and I kept playing, and I from there started playing football. And then it was a huge pleasure playing with Coach Teed. He actually really supports his athletes, and he's he really changed my life. Him and his wife, Miss Teed, 100% changed my life. They just they always go more than just a sport, just to touch your life and change you as a person, not just as an athlete. So it's a huge pleasure playing for Trimble and playing with my friend Dylan. It was a huge pleasure. Yeah.
That's awesome.
And Trimble was a fun time, and the fans are ridiculous. Trimble, I don't care what anyone says, Trimble has the nicest fan in Moncton, period. In New Brunswick, period. Yeah. That's it.
They do. The games are always packed, especially if it's homecoming against Moncton High. It's gonna be nuts. Now, all right. So you have played on a number of New Brunswick teams. Yeah. Talk to me about what's going on in New Brunswick right now. That we're starting to see more athletes come out of New Brunswick at the international competition. This Team Canada that just won gold medal again. What's going on in football in New Brunswick that's producing more and more players like yourself?
Well, first off, I would like to thank Chris Hopkins. Okay. He was I think he's the one who's started the change of football in New Brunswick, because he was a huge that was his goal since day one to make football in New Brunswick big. Because I remember my first day at provincials, and I was trying out, and he literally said the words to me. It was look, I'm you're not the best football player I've seen, but you have potential, and I'm only getting you on the team because I think you have potential. And I just want to thank him for giving me that chance. And since that day, I played in the provincial team in New Brunswick U18 2 years in a row, and my second year, that's when I had the chance to play for I guess I got selected for the U18 national team. And then my second year, this year, I guess I got selected for the U19 team, and this the national team, the international team. Yeah.
What was it like playing down in Mexico in that heat? Was it pretty hot down there for game time?
Oh yeah, it was really hot, but it wasn't as hot. It's not as hot as here. Not gonna lie. Yeah, it's actually hotter here than it was there. But one thing was because it's a high altitude, so it was so hard to breathe. I've never felt that way ever playing football. It was you would have one run and you're gassed out of your mind, and especially when I did track, so I was okay, I'm in good shape, I'm excited, I'm gonna go there, I'm not gonna get tired. And I had one run and I'm gassed, laying on the ground. I'm oh my goodness. And the fans are crazy. The Mexican fans are they're ridiculous. They really support whatever they support. We were going to practice and we see them cheering for the Pee Wee team, literally the kids team, and they were it was university game. Like, I'm not even I took videos of this, and I was like, oh my, like, how come Acadia doesn't do this? And like, the fans are really supportive and stuff, and it was pretty cool to like see just different culture, different people playing football, meeting new people. Like, it was awesome. It was awesome.
That's awesome. Acadia University, I got to talk to you about this, because what a crazy university football season was last year. Talk to me, Loney Bowl. First of all, we didn't even know if there was going to be a Loney Bowl. I was a referee in that game, and we found out the night before that we're heading down to Acadia. We're playing. Talk to me about that game. Will you ever play a game that was more exciting than that game? Like, talk to me about that game, how that went for you.
Oh, like the Loney Bowl was a big game. Like, it was just pretty much all the drama and everything that came with it. And one of the biggest thing, like, for the older guys was like they didn't want to not play the game. They didn't want to win a Loney Bowl by just default, and like they wanted to play the game and actually earn it, right? So that was like, I felt bad for all of them, and like we all were like hoping that we were able to play the game. And then when we played the game, it was a really close game, really emotional game. If you watched it, it was like a good night too. So it was one of the best game of my life. It was really like a really emotional game, especially just the fact that it ended up with them being on the 10-yard line, throwing an interception. Like, that's like to Rory Kelly. Like, that's New Brunswick, another New Brunswick guy. Yeah. So that's just a very emotional way to like end all that drama. Yeah. And pretty much same thing happened in Mexico. Like, if you watched the game, you would probably figure out that it was a lot of drama, like with the them play, like the way they played and the refs and just everything. It was just a lot of drama, and like us coming out with the win just pretty much felt same way as the Loney Bowl. Just like after all the drama, you come out with the win. It just feels a lot better. That's awesome. But yeah. All
right, man. Listen, that's Glodin Mulali, and I wish you all success this year with Acadia again. I'll see you on the field only a couple weeks away, and we're wishing you all the success. Thank you.
Thank you.
Right here again, First Down Sports. I am standing here with a giant of a man, Charles Lavallee, offensive guard for Mount A, but we're going to talk about that in a second. First of all, I want to talk about what you guys are here for. Yep. This all started off in high school. You played for John, who I interviewed earlier from Odyssey, and Serge. Talk to me about your time at Odyssey and what you learned under those two coaches.
First of all, it's because of them why I'm here. There's also Chris Hopkins, but he's gone to Carleton. But first of all, John and Serge, they taught me everything about football. For the grade 8, when I moved here, I was like middle of grade 8, like December grade 8, and I was like, what's football? I never, but they brought me to it. They taught me the perfection. Well, I don't say I'm perfection. I'm perfect, but like I'm just saying, like Serge is a perfectionist. John is a perfectionist. So like it's very, it was the right way and not no way. So it's like they were on me every day. They taught me that football's not only for sports, it's for life. You know, every team sports for the future of life. You know, but they did perfection. I cannot say more. Like they're perfectionist, and I could not ask for it. Was my time there was amazing. Really like them, and they're the best coach I can ever ask for.
That's great. That's great to hear. That's a huge compliment to both those guys. This Team Canada, you're here because you won gold medal down in Mexico for Team Canada. It was the first time we had 4 New Brunswickers on the team. Yeah. Talk to me just real quick. What's going on in New Brunswick that we have 4 guys out of the blue all of a sudden that we didn't see this in the past? What's going on today that we have 4 guys like you on that championship team?
Well, it's been a while, but it's not been a while. Like 4 years ago, I got chosen to go play in Texas for Team Canada. I went there, and then after that, there was China. That was the 2, because World Juniors only happens every 2 years. I was chosen to go to China, couldn't go. I bruised my ACL, so I couldn't go. So I said no. But 4 years ago, it's been 4 years I'm with Team Canada. It was me, Ian Cardy, first year.
second year, that's where the wave started. Me, Cardi, first year. Me, Glodin, and it was me, Glodin, the next year in Florida, and then it just kept going. Me, Cardi, me, Tabone, Taylor, and Glody. We were like, it was keep going. Like the talent we have, like Tabone, like has big D1 schools. Taylor has big D1 schools, and Glody's like amazing wide receiver, and like they're both all amazing. So I don't know. It's like Team New Brunswick's not like people say like, listen, oh, Team New Brunswick's not good. Well, if you look at it, I think for starters, I think it's pretty good. And so I think it's just people underestimate Team New Brunswick, and like I don't know about you, but having 4 starters, Team New Brunswick, I think it's pretty a pretty well not challenge, but achievement for Team Canada. Well, not Team Canada, but for Team New Brunswick. So, like I mean, like it's all thanks to Chris Hopkins as well, because he brought us there as well to go to Team Canada, and like I don't know, I think it's a very well achievement, well spent, I guess.
Awesome. Mount A's season right around the corner. New head coach Peter Fraser. What can you tell us? What upcoming things can you tell us about Mount A? Are you guys on the field getting ready?
We're on the field on August 10th. It's got to be a big thing. I'm excited. Excited for a new coach. Excited for a new beginning, I guess. The only thing I think it's a lot of football in a month or two. There haven't stopped football for like 3 years, so always on the go, always training and all that. So, I mean, it's a new football coach, but it's same goal, same culture, and everything. So, I'm excited. Coach Fraser is an awesome coach. Couldn't ask for a better coach. But I mean, it comes with positive and negative in life. So you gotta keep going. You gotta pass through those negatives and have those positive. But you have to pass through those negatives before you get to positive. So that's what it is. So
awesome. Well, I'll be on the field with you. We're only a couple weeks away. I look forward to being on the field with you. Thanks for coming by First Down Sports.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
All right, great. Ray Dunn with First Down Sports, everybody, here with Taylor Burns. Taylor, you're here back in New Brunswick. I want to talk to you a little bit about Virginia in a few minutes. But first of all, let's talk about why you're here. We have 4 New Brunswickers that were just recently on Team Canada, won gold down in Mexico. Talk to me about that experience playing in Mexico for Team Canada as a New Brunswicker.
It was great. Being one of only 4 players on the team, it was great to show off ourselves athletically and also culturally. Having the opportunity to play with players from all over the country and show why New Brunswick is a great province for football was a great opportunity.
Awesome. Now, you got your start for Riverview High School, right? Talk to me about that start and what playing for Riverview High School did for your career getting you started in football.
Well, originally I played defensive line. I was athletic, but I wasn't that good. So at Riverview High School, I made the switch to offensive line, and I kind of kickstarted my career.
Awesome. Now, let's talk. So now you're playing down in Virginia right now. So talk to me about the big difference of playing down the States versus playing here in Canada.
Okay, so in the States, there's no 1 yard separation between the offensive and defensive line, so it creates a little bit more contact between the 2 lines. There's also 4 downs, and really that's the only major difference. It makes the game a little bit longer and lasts a lot longer.
What about, like, as an offensive lineman, the width of the field? That wouldn't have a huge impact for you guys, right? Are you staying inside that tackle box pretty tight, or?
It all depends on the play. So if we're running an outside zone or an outside swing play, usually we'll just not go as wide. We'll try and get to the shoulder a little quicker. Yeah. But in the Canadian game, you can ride the guy as long as you want, and it creates more separation for the running back to pick a hole.
Awesome. All right. I want to talk about Team New Brunswick here, for example. I've been involved with football for 13 years as an official. I worked Canada Cup here quite a few years ago. And I remember Team New Brunswick was down here at the pack as far as the competition of BC, Quebec, Ontario. Something's happening here in 506. Talk to me about what you think is the big change in New Brunswick football.
I think the biggest change is the size of the players. I feel like the players are the kids are now getting bigger and stronger and faster. And also the coaching's probably progressed a lot. I'm not really too involved in the coaching, so I'm not too familiar. But as what I've seen over the past 3 years of me in the Team New Brunswick program, every year it seems to be getting better and better and better. Also, I would say the game is growing. There's more players playing. It now, sure, in the minor leagues it's starting to shrink, but you can tell. I mean, there's kids out there playing. You never really used to see that. So yeah.
There's a bunch of younger kids in here tonight that are here to see you guys, to talk to you guys about what you guys experience. What do you say to those little kids that are in Pee Wee, Bantam, that want to get to your level?
Well, you can do it. I mean, all it requires is hard work, dedication, blood, sweat, and tears. Rada. Just work hard, and you can accomplish anything in life.
That's awesome. All right, guys. That is Taylor Burns, offensive lineman, gold medal winner down in Mexico. Thanks for joining First Down Sports. All right, guys, right here with First Down Sports again, here with Taylor Burns. I screwed that up. It's okay. That's the only one I screwed up all night. Taylor Burns, see?
Take a breath.
Here we go.
Only name you screwed up tonight, he says.
All right.
He got Charles right.
I did. Ready?